We got everybody here that we've got. It's our Tuesday tea time. It's nice to be together. And I won't repeat my whole thing that I was saying, but for your benefit, Mike, I'm just going to mention that coming up next Monday, and so we won't be together on that day that's celebrated, is Indigenous Peoples Day. And so I like to just acknowledge and recognize that where we gather is the ancestral lands for many people, and it includes the Clackamas, the Cowlitz, the Confederated Tribes of the Grand Ronde, and the Confederated Tribes of the Siletz Indians. And so acknowledging the Indigenous communities of past, present, and future is important for me, that the ancient inhabitants of this land were forced to leave for the benefit of us, the colonists and the settlers, and acknowledging the systemic policies of genocide and relocation and assimilation that still has an impact on many Indigenous families today. And so I'm grateful for their stewardship of these lands and acknowledge the benefit that I continue to receive, we all continue to receive, and being committed to remain mindful and make ongoing efforts to recognize their knowledge and their creativity and their resilience. So having a land acknowledgement is, I think it's right up there at the top these days, with also acknowledging, the welcoming of all people of every age and ethnicity and cultural heritage and religious background and socioeconomic group and ability and sexual orientation and gender orientation, that we let our hearts remain open to be welcoming to all.
Thank you, Kendall.
Mm-hmm. So here
Did
comes.
you say there's a gathering?
No, I just said it's Indigenous Peoples Day on Monday next week.
Right, that I knew.
Yeah.
We are meeting Monday night, right?
We are meeting Monday night. That's right. It's the second Monday of the month. Okay. But Mike hasn't come, but he might. You never know.
You never know.
Never know. I'm always happily surprised when I see anybody. So here's the bell. Let yourself get comfortable and sit wherever you feel the most comfort and ease of sitting. Acknowledging this container of our Tuesday Tea Time Sangha together, and some who aren't here, including them in our acknowledgement and appreciation. And Sangha members for many generations, 2,600 years already, of lay people and monks and nuns who have benefited and reported and carried on the teachings of the Buddha, paying homage to the Buddha, the understanding that we can have freedom from suffering, liberation in this very life. And he showed that to us, and because of the Dhamma, his teachings of really seeing things clearly the way they are, arising and passing away of constant change. And so there's no real grasping at identity, that it's a non-personal experience, even though we are in this relative world. we can see with connecting with our breath at the nostrils or the belly, or connecting to a sitting point that we return to at our buttocks on the chair, or feeling temperature change, warmth and coolness on our skin. Any of these sense doors is how we create our world. And so as we sit and bring mindfulness to the fore, to really see what is arising and passing away within our own hearts and minds, we are able to touch into the ability to see freedom from our own suffering and grasping and clinging. Or when we see ourselves grasping and clinging, we can also notice when it easily goes away, or we notice that we can let it go if things are repetitive or not so skillful for us. And so we use this time of formal practice to gather our senses, settle in with kindness for ourselves, compassion for ourselves for whatever arises. That we may also touch in with equanimity with what arises, that without falling into extremes, we can see clearly what is there to be seen and what our response and reaction might be. To hold ourselves in this kindness and gentleness. May we be at ease. May we be with what is present and arising with as much equanimity as we can. May I be present in this moment. With things the way they are, even this, whatever arises. And may we know that the goodness and the benefit of our practice, this is beneficial to all beings. No matter how we're struggling and seeing clearly what's arising. And so may this practice and the intention of our practice be both for our own freedom and for others. That simple practice of noticing the breath at the nostrils, cool or warm on the inhale and on the exhale, noticing if the breath is long or short. We're gathering concentration by returning to a single object, easefully. Or whether we feel that breath at the diaphragm, we can notice moment to moment, pressure somewhere, how long it lasts, when it changes, when there's the beginning of the letting go of that pressure on the exhale at the diaphragm. So, whatever we choose, the attention of the breath at the nostrils or belly, or whether we hold ourselves in a larger containment of this breathing body and are aware of the various sense doors when something comes into view, whether it's changing objects or a single object, our attention is there in the present moment right now. Noticing the changing of it, the anicca moment. Constantly changing. And our presence is here to witness and be with what awareness is showing us. every now and then, in case we find ourselves wandering from the present moment, we can take a moment to notice what's happening in the body right now, or what is happening in the mind. What's the mind state? Just bringing ourselves back to present within the body, the touch point, the breath, noticing tension and letting it go, or maybe there's repetitive thoughts in the mind of just noticing with wisdom what might be skillful, what might not be so skillful for our well-being, and to let go of what isn't necessary, and let our hearts, minds incline toward Dhamma thinking. If we're going to be thinking, we can reflect on our good deeds or good deeds done to us. We can reflect on the Noble Truths. We can reflect on the Eightfold Path. We can reflect on the precepts. We can just be present and be aware of what's arising. We can employ skillful thinking, the right intention, letting ourselves be relaxed and present in what's arising, and noticing as best we can the anicca, anatta, and dukkha. Characteristics. Which inclines the mind toward the skillful and keeps us in the present of noticing what about this causes my clinging. What about this my identification with the self? And where do we notice clinging arises, but we don't identify it as my? There might be grasping there. There might be clinging. There might be renunciation of letting go. We're seeing it from the viewpoint of mindfulness. sound arising, pleasant, unpleasant, neutral. Just beginning again if we are losing focus or ruminating over something repeatedly. Waking up at that moment, holding ourselves gently, being with what's there and investigating. Is it pleasant or unpleasant, or can't we tell? Is it skillful? Can we hold ourselves kindly and with compassion around whatever arises? And still have that intention of being in the present moment, seeing clearly what's arising. And as we become more aware of where we are in this present moment, may we let this focus of our concentration include metta in our hearts for the end of our practice. May we turn our attention toward the nurturing of our hearts and minds, toward kindness, toward goodwill, well-being for ourselves and for others. As we guide our hearts to be present, being aware of holding ourselves dearly, having appreciation and gratitude. May we nurture well-being. May I be at ease. May I have well-being. May I be with things just as they are. May I notice those subtle joys that arise in the mind when I've returned to the present moment, when I've inclined toward skillful thoughts. This is my way of being free from harm and ill will. May I be at ease. May I have happiness and the causes of happiness. This could be a feeling in the body, or you can use your own phrases for having a sense of holding yourself in goodwill and kindness. As we touch into this limitless well of unconditional kindness and loving energy for ourselves, we can also include a close friend or a benefactor, a teacher, another being, human or animal. Seeing this being happy and healthy, that they have ease in their lives. And letting the repetition of this feeling of kindness or the phrase that we use also include another person. If you used a friend the last time, use a teacher or benefactor this time, and vice versa, or maybe just another one of the same, a friend or a benefactor, whatever comes into the mind. Holding this being in kindness and compassion. May you be free from harm, safe and protected. May you be free from suffering. May you have happiness. May you experience the causes of happiness. Letting go of greed and ill will, greed, hatred, and delusion. Letting go of clinging. May you be happy and at ease. And may we hold in kindness, adding to our circle a neutral person, someone that we don't know, could be living or not, holding them in kindness and compassion. That they be free from harm, find ease. May we touch into our hearts our compassion for their suffering. Acknowledging equanimity to help us hold in this clear seeing and feeling of our hearts quivering to hold another person in their suffering. May they be released from their suffering. May they have ease and well-being. Holding this being in kindness and compassion. May you be free from your suffering. May you have ease. And then expanding this training of the heart to specific categories. May we now include many beings, all beings. The ants that we see on the sidewalk, the wasps that we see in their nests, the flying beetles, animals that swim and fly and crawl and walk, those that are known and unknown. May all beings, whether seen or unseen, whether in joy or in sorrow, may they be free. May they be safe, happy and peaceful, healthy and strong. May they live their lives with joy and ease. Free from affliction, free from hostility, free from ill will, free from anxiety. And may they maintain well-being in themselves. Realizing that all actions, be they skillful or harmful, of that we are and they are heirs. These acts, of this we will be the heir. May our actions and intentions, may all beings free of suffering, actions and intentions be understood, that we are owners of our action and inherit the results May we continue letting this ability to see clearly guide our actions. That seeing clearly can bring the greatest happiness. May all beings be free from suffering, enmity, and danger. Anicca vata sankara upadavaya domino upakitava meruchanti te samvapasamo sukho. All conditioned things are subject to impermanence. They arise due to conditions and they pass away due to conditions. And seeing this clearly with mindfulness brings the greatest happiness, which is peace. And may this goodwill from our practice be of benefit to all beings. And may it touch upon joy for taking this time and sharing this goodness with all beings. Hmm.